What's up, guys? In today's video, we'll be ranking the top 10 NFL running backs for 2023 to 2024. Okay, so I just want to point out the reason why I'm on today. We don't really have that much fancy metrics and analytics to use. Instead, I'll be showing you the stats that really matter and which stats to try to ignore when you're looking at ranking top 10 NFL running backs. So the reason why I'm on NFL on ESPN, NFL stats on ESPN is one major thing. ESPN shows the average per carry a running back gets, while NFL.com doesn't. The reason why this is important because obviously you see here that Christian McCaffrey, he's leading the league with 1,400 yards, but he also has the most attempts in the league. And in my opinion, I just feel like the amount of rushing yards you get in the season depends on how much attempts your quarterback gives you running the ball, because any running back could run for 3 to 5 yards easily. It's just how much yards can you get that one attempt rushing, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to start with an honorable mention. Number 11, I have Kyren Williams. So Kyren Williams, you already know, he's the second in the league for rushing yards, and he's a 5.0 rushing yards per average, which is really good. Anything above 4.5, 4.6 is very good. But the reason why I don't have him in the top 10 is because this is his first season, his breakout season. We need to see a little bit more to him because last season he didn't do so good. We need to see a little bit more from him to depict if he's really a top 10 running back. Okay, so let's move on to number 10. Number 10, I have Bijan Robinson. Obviously, so Bijan Robinson, if you scroll down here, he's right here at number 9. But you can see here that Bijan Robinson has less attempts than Kyren Williams. I think this has to do with his coach, because the coach doesn't really give the ball to Bijan Robinson nearly as much as the other guys. For example, Bijan Robinson has 203 attempts, while these other guys, like even Isaiah Pacheco, with the Chiefs being a passing-heavy offense, he has 205 attempts. So I feel like you can knock him for that, and obviously he's a rookie, has many more years to come, but that's why I feel like he has a little bit more better than Kyren Williams. I feel like if he was given more attempts, then he would do better. But also he's above 4.5 average rushing yard with 4.7, which is very good. And also, I also don't really count touchdowns while doing this, because many teams like the Green Bay Packers, they have a different touchdown running back for a touchdown. Like, for example, A.J. Dillon. So that takes away Aaron Jones' touchdowns. I'm not saying that Aaron Jones is top 10 because he's not nearly as good as any of these guys, but I'm saying that sometimes other running backs or their QBs, like for example DeAndre Swift or James Cook. DeAndre Swift and James Cook are both great examples. If you see here, who is DeAndre Swift and James Cook's quarterback? Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts. And if you go to see who leads a touchdown, we can see here Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts are number 2 and are tied for second in touchdowns. So that's why I feel like you can't knock James Cook and DeAndre Swift in their touchdowns because their quarterback takes away. I just want to tell you right now that I don't have James Cook because this is his first good productive year. So I want to see one more year. If he does one more year like this caliber stats, then I think he can make a push for the top 10. Okay, number 9, I have Jahmyr Gibbs. So Jahmyr Gibbs, he has 5.4 average yards per run, and he has 40 more 40 to 60 more less attempts than any of these other running backs you see in the top 10. Way less attempts. I know he's a rookie, but still, if you look at these top 10 running backs, 272, 228, 224, 229, 261, 209. And if you see here at Jahmyr Gibbs, 169, which is significantly less attempts. So that shows why he has so less rushing yards. So that's why I put Jahmyr Gibbs at number 9. Number 8, DeAndre Swift. So, like, just like how I said for the touchdowns, I don't really look at a touchdown because, for example, Jalen Hurts has like 15 of those touchdowns that could possibly be DeAndre Swift. But DeAndre Swift is fourth for rushing yards, average versus 4.6, which is pretty good. But the reason why I have him over Kyren Williams, I've been debating between this because Kyren Williams had a better season this year, but DeAndre Swift had better seasons last year than Kyren Williams. Like, it was like DeAndre Swift's seasons before this were average, but it was still way better than Kyren Williams. So that's why I have him above Kyren Williams. Okay, now number 7 is Tony Pollard, as you could see. Tony Pollard, like, same thing with last year. When the coach started using Tony Pollard over Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard started popping off. So that's why I'm above DeAndre Swift, because last season when Tony Pollard was playing consistently, he was way better than DeAndre Swift. If you see Tony Pollard's right here, 935, 235, 4.0 average, which is not the best, but it's still pretty good. So I feel like Tony Pollard deserves to be in 935 because he had better seasons than DeAndre Swift and Jahmyr Gibbs, and he's more proven running back, if that makes sense. At number 6, I have Travis Etienne. Travis Etienne has been one of the best with 951. I know he's been like kind of bad with like 3.8 average, but I don't want to see here that for Kyren Williams, he has 446 receiving yards, which is way more than other running backs. So this proves like how versatile Travis Etienne is. And I'll tease it with Christian McCaffrey later, but Travis Etienne is very versatile, which I think is a very good skill and comes in handy for a running back. You need to be versatile. So that's why that makes Deebo Samuel so valuable for the 49ers, because he's versatile, just like how Travis Etienne is. Okay. Number 5, I have Joe Mixon. Same thing with this. Joe Mixon's stats aren't nearly as good as for this season than DeAndre Swift, Travis Etienne, Jahmyr Gibbs. But the reason why I have him above all these guys is he's more proven. All these guys probably just popped off for this year, minus DeAndre Swift or maybe Tony Pollard. Joe Mixon has been doing this for a while. He's like 27, 28, and he's been keeping up these numbers for a while. I feel like he's more consistent than all these, and all these guys we've only seen for one season. Sure, if they put up the same better stats or even the same stats as Joe Mixon, they might overtake Joe Mixon. But just because Joe Mixon has proven himself in the past, I feel like Joe Mixon higher. Number 4, Saquon Barkley. So I have Saquon Barkley here. Obviously, he's been pretty good, but same thing with this. I know he had same thing with Joe Mixon, Tony Pollard. Last year was very good for him. He's way more proven than any of these other running backs, not even close. Last year was a very good year for Saquon Barkley, and he followed up with this year with another decent year, 916 yards, 229 attempts, and an average of 4.0. So I feel like since Saquon Barkley is more proven than all these other running backs, he deserves to be higher. Okay, next. Nick Chubb at number 3. So I know Nick Chubb was injured the whole season. He was injured in like week 2 or week 3. But the reason why I have him at number 3 is because coming into this season, last season he was by far the best running back. But since he got injured, that obviously ruined some things. And you can't knock someone for getting injured for 1 year, like how Saquon Barkley was injured and he had 2 very good seasons after that. I still think so. That's why I think Nick Chubb's the best running back, but I don't think I could put him at 1 because of his injury. So this might be a little controversial. I have Derrick Henry over Nick Chubb because when Derrick Henry got injured, because you could also say that Derrick Henry got injured, but he was only injured for 8 games, while Nick Chubb was out for the whole season. And also Derrick Henry did very good this year with over 1,000 rushing yards. I know he had a lot of attempts, but it's very good stats, even knowing that Nick Chubb wasn't here. 3.9 average is not bad. So I just have it because he's less likely. He didn't get injured this season, basically. So that means, obviously, number 1, I have Christian McCaffrey. So if you look here, I just want to explain this. Christian McCaffrey has by far the most rushing yards, not even close. But if you see here, he also has the most attempts. But here's the thing. Same thing with Travis Etienne. he's way more versatile than any of these other rushing backs. Like, for example, he has 14 touchdowns rushing and 7 touchdowns receiving. That's a total of 21 touchdowns with an average of 5.4. So I know he got all these carries, but 5.4 is very good. It's one of the best. If you see here, if you go to average for running backs, we see Devon Achane, but obviously Devon Achane, he had like 93 attempts, so it's not really fair to count him just yet. But Christian McCaffrey's like down here at 5.4. Yeah, he has 5.4, which is still very good. Wait, let me see here. 5.4. Where is he? Right here, 5.4. And if you scroll up, there's not many running backs. Just these guys. These guys barely even played, so they had like one time. So that's why I think out of everyone in this list, CMC by far has the most, other than Jahmyr Gibbs, who also has a very good. So, and he also has like 500 receiving. So I feel like the factor that makes him so versatile makes him a very good running back. So this is my top 10 running back list. I hope you enjoyed, and tell me in the comments if you disagree or agree. Please subscribe and share this video, because I want to try to get more views on my videos so I could get more out there, if you know what I mean. And make sure to like the video. Bye.